podcast where best friends and next-door neighbors, Willow and Lillian, spill the tea on murder, mysteries, and other things that go bump in the night. So get your favorite teacup ready, and let's get into it. Welcome to Cruelty Podcast. This is Lillian, and with me is Merris, because it is Merris Monday.
Hello.
Whoa, hi.
Yeah.
That's a very intense hello.
I didn't mean that.
No, it's fine. So, happy Father's Day. That's when we're recording this.
Yeah, thanks.
And so, happy Father's Day to all the dads.
Yeah.
All the stepdads. All the passed on dads and people who had to act as dads because their dads sucked.
Yeah.
And I hope if you have a sucky dad, then your day wasn't too terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're your dad now.
We are your papa.
I'm your daddy. Okay, that was
Dang.
weird. I'm gonna stop.
All right.
So yeah, it's been. I don't know I don't know what's in the air. Maybe it's the aliens. Maybe
Aliens in the air.
They're definitely up there.
Or in the ocean. I don't know.
They're definitely in there.
Yeah.
And underground, apparently.
Whatever. They're everywhere.
I have a question. Are they up your butt?
The brown aliens.
Oh, come on now. That's enough out of you.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to give you a pass because it's Father's Day, but
No.
you know what? You took it too far.
Yeah.
You've ruined my charity.
Did Papa Smurf celebrate Father's Day?
Was he actually a dad to... Okay, I didn't ever really watch the Smurfs as a kid. Was Papa Smurf a dad to all the Smurfs?
I don't know, and I did watch them, like the original ones from like the 80s. But I don't know, and I don't know if Smurfette is his wife or daughter, and that's a weird and gross question.
It reminds me of that. There was like an animation and a little song back in the early aughts about, like, you know, the Papa Smurf, let me lick your ass. You remember that one?
No, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And
well, I don't even know why you brought up Papa Smurf.
I was thinking of Papa stuff like Papa John's, like that pizza. That's this Father's Day pizza.
Didn't, like, one time Papa John, the guy who owns it, say that he only ate Papa John?
Yeah.
Oh, you know when you cut him, he bleeds that garlic butter sauce.
I might need to be cutting them.
Yeah, because that shit's good.
There's Papa Legba. That Happy Father's Day to Papa Legba.
Oh my God, Merris.
Yeah, and that one guy from Ghost, whose name is Papa something.
From Ghost?
That's a band.
Oh, Papa Emeritus.
Yeah, I didn't know what it is. Yeah.
I do not like Ghost.
No, but there's a Papa there.
But let me tell you, if you like Ghost, that's okay, because me and Merris are joyless husks, and we don't like anything.
Yeah, I hate everything.
Except weird shit. And do we like it? I don't know.
What's today's weird stuff?
So this Merris Monday, I wanted to go dark. I wanted some apocalyptic shit, but nothing like too serious, because it's not like we need another existential crisis or anything. Like, I already have a dozen. So dark and weird, but maybe bullshit. Okay. We're going to talk about the end of the world.
Is that supernatural? I hope it is.
This is just crazy and weird.
Are you reading the Book of Revelation? Like, what's going on?
Well, listen, I'm not going to do that. I have read the Book of Revelation. I got some hate mail recently.
Cool.
Because I dissed on religion like I do.
Oh, it sounds like a them problem.
It definitely... I did not respond because I give no fucks. But because they accused me of never having read the Bible.
Oh,
I would like to say I've read most translations of the Bible, including the one direct from Hebrew to Greek to English, whatever. I've read all that shit. And no, we're not going to talk about the Book of Revelation, although one day we will.
No way.
No. So we're going to talk about something else entirely. But it is about a book.
All right.
With a biblical name. So it's like you're psychic.
Oh, dang.
Dang.
I'm not.
According to the CIA, and a book written by some dude named Chan Thomas, and this book is called The Adam and Eve Story. This is about the end of the world.
Okay.
According to these people.
The Adam and Eve was in the beginning part, so this guy already messed it up.
Yeah, he done fucked up.
Yeah.
And before you, like, roll your eyes, it doesn't really have much to do with any religion whatsoever. And that's sort of an allegorical... It's like an allegorical title. So in 2019, the CIA declassified the book written by Thomas, and there's a lot of wild stuff in it, like Jesus living in India after he was abducted by a UFO. So,
I like this Bible better. Like, this one sounds more fun.
so you can take all of this with a grain of salt the size of a house.
That's a really big salt.
Yeah, Dr. Chan was a former McDonnell Douglas engineer and UFO researcher. He wrote the Adam and Eve story in 1966, which sounds great, but what does that have to do with the end of the world? Well, buckle up. Immediately after the book's completion, the entire thing was classified by the CIA. We wouldn't even know about it, really, kind of. It's complicated. I'll get to it in a minute. If they hadn't declassified it, we certainly wouldn't be talking about it, because the fact that they classified it is why we're talking about it, if that makes sense.
It's because of scarcity that we want it.
Indeed. And so what was in this weird-ass book that was so crazy they had to classify it? Well, we can't know for sure why the CIA thinks this book is so dangerous that they only released it in 2019, and they did admit to sanitizing it, but we can guess, because this book describes the violent, ridiculous end of the world.
So this dude wrote a book that the CIA classified.
Indeed.
They unclassified it and gave us a redacted copy.
So the urban legend goes, but you can actually find copies of it everywhere, even before 2019. So them classifying it was utterly pointless.
Take that, CIA.
CIA is Clown Shoes.
Is that what it stands for? Clown
Shoes Incorporated Association.
Wait, there's an S in there. You put an S in there.
Clown Shoes is one word.
Oh, okay.
So, fuck off. So, in Thomas's book, he described a cataclysm brought on by a sudden shift in the Earth's poles. According to Thomas, these cataclysms come in cycles. Each time they occur, they nearly wipe out all human life on Earth, and it all restarts. Thomas maintained through his research that civilization, as we know it now, was actually the sixth go-around. There's been civilization like this 6 times.
Even if that's true, who cares, and what does it matter?
Well, I'm fixing to tell you why it matters.
All right.
Because that soon, we're going to be knocked right back to the Stone Age.
We're number 7, huh?
Well, we're number 6.
Okay.
You can't even count today.
Nope.
Your brain's soup today, I've noticed.
It is. It's got holes in it.
Does soup have holes? Soup can't have holes.
I think that's why it's wet. It's got a lot of holes.
It's the wettest of foods. Let's not talk about
Oh,
soup.
this is stupid.
It is. Thomas's theory asserts that the continents will shift, and we all know that continents shift over millions and millions and millions of years. We had Pangea and all. Actually, we had a total of 7 or 8 different continental conglomerations. Pangea is just the most famous, and they were all mashed together, and slowly over billions of years they drifted apart. But Thomas says that the shift will occur in less than 1 day, and obviously that's fucking bad.
That's a very bad day.
Oh, I'm going to describe how bad this day is.
Oh boy, is it like that one movie? It's like the day the Earth stood. Was there you love disaster movies?
I do. I talk about that a little bit in a moment.
Okay, well, let's get to it.
I don't know about y'all, but I love a good end of the world movie. We're talking about it right now, as a matter of fact. Armageddon, Deep Impact, The Road, Threads. It's great to watch landmarks get blown up, especially like in Independence Day. You can't tell me that when that movie came out and they fucking lasered the White House, you weren't like, yeah, get it, aliens, fuck it up. Right?
Yes, yeah.
Well, now imagine all of those disaster movies and amplify it by 20. Mm-hmm. Because that's how horrific this end is.
I'm sorry, dude who wrote this book. That's dumb.
Oh, no, it is theoretically possible, but I'll get into that in a minute. Thomas describes the world-ending cataclysm as follows. The earthquakes begin.
Okay.
More violent than we've ever seen. There's no system of measurement that can tell us what it is on the Richter scale. A wall of seawater over 2 miles high destroys the Pacific coast in a massive tsunami. Next, the wind comes. It's so fast and hard, that it shreds everything in its path. It just blows everything apart.
It just blows. It's just blowing. It's blowing. It's blowing.
Fast and hard. It just blows everything apart, like buildings, landscapes, animals, and people.
It's blowing the aminals.
Fuck off. Shut up. The winds blow more than 1,000 miles per hour. But why does this happen? Because the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, right?
Okay.
This is not perceptible to us because air and water and Earth all spin together at the same time. But if the poles were to shift suddenly, not gradually, the air and water are still spinning as though the shift didn't happen. But the land masses have stopped spinning as the poles have shifted. But the air and water are still going, and they're going at 1,000 miles per hour. Thus, destruction.
So everybody be flying.
Oh, we be flying. It's more than flying, but we'll get into that.
All right.
Then come the volcanic eruptions. The Earth crust cracks open like an egg, and liquid magma just erupts everywhere, incinerating everything. So we're blown to bits, drowned, and then burned to ash. Cool.
Have you ever had like a sneeze and diarrhea and like a cough all at the same time?
What? I'm really glad you asked. It's
Yeah.
a bit like dividing by zero.
Okay.
It's a zero-sum event when you sneeze, cough, and fart, and then pee.
And like you cut all your insides are hurting.
I've done it
Yeah.
one time, and I was driving.
Oh.
And here's what happened.
You crashed, and that's how you got your accident.
No, I did crash, but it wasn't dangerous. So there was a bee in my car.
Oh, okay.
And I had the sun visor.
Yeah.
I had it down because I'm one of those people that when the sun hits my eyes, it makes me sneeze. Mm-hmm. But the bee, I'm allergic to bees, for the record. I don't want to be trapped in the car with a bee.
Right.
It's like my worst nightmare, but it was happening. The bee was on the visor, and my dumbass thought, I'm going to flip up the visor really hard and squish the bee.
I probably would have done that, yeah.
And I did do that, except the
you just
morning
pissed him
sun
off. Yeah.
just went bzzzt right into my eyes. So I sneezed so hard, I farted and peed my pants a little bit.
That's what the Earth's going to do.
And let me tell you, it just like reset my whole body. Like I made the Windows shutdown noise.
Yeah, when you have to restart your computer and you got to hold down the button.
Yeah, I jumped a curb and hit a mailbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is worse than all of that, but similar. So, yeah. Basically, in a matter of a few hours, all traces of civilization are gone. All is rubble and ash and dust. Imagine it like this. The world becomes a giant blender. And that's what it would be like. We're just goop. However, some will survive.
I don't think so. I feel like that this is not possible.
survivable.
If like even if the volcano and the earthquake didn't get you,
It's the
I'm pretty
wind.
sure that the speed of the Earth spinning and you're going 1,000 miles an
And
hour,
then it just suddenly stops.
there's just no way.
Look, I'm going by the book, not what I think is possible.
Okay.
Except there's no technology left. Food is scarce because the animals got blendered too. Everything is on fire. You have these like modern survivors left without a pot to piss in, literally. We must start at the way beginning times and reinvent the wheel. And we do this in cycles, over and over and over again. Then, in less than 4 hours, after all the fire and water and wind, the Earth freezes. Well, half of it.
Yeah, and if it's not spinning, like, wouldn't we instantly be radiated because the sun's still, like,
Oh, I'll get to that too,
Oh,
because
my
there's
Jesus.
more of that.
Okay.
If the Earth suddenly stopped moving, one half becomes hell hot and the other half
Right.
side becomes frozen salt.
Like Mercury, yeah.
Like Mercury. For a total of 6 days, the Earth is ravaged by all of these terrible things: the water, the fire, the wind, the cold, etc. This is what would happen if the poles shifted 90 degrees suddenly, as Thomas asserts they will. The Earth becomes tilted on its side. But is all of this stuff that Dr. Thomas says made up?
Yeah.
Well, yes, but no. He didn't make it up out of nowhere. There's lots of people who believe there were ancient civilizations that were very advanced, like Atlantis, for example. There are tons of old myths and legends that speak of cataclysms, Noah's Ark. All civilizations have stories of humanity nearly wiped out due to a cataclysm. There are over 40 cataclysm and flood myths from around the world, from the Aztecs, ancient Sumerians, to the indigenous people of North America. All of them have these myths, literally all of them. And is there any proof of this other than old stories? Well, yeah. Especially according to Thomas. And there are signs that the cataclysm is going to happen again, and soon, relatively speaking.
Right. Better not be when I'm here.
I'm fine to be blendered, to be quite honest. It sounds pretty instant fuck.
Yeah,
like you're
as
just
long
done.
as it's instant.
Just seems like you're going to be turned inside out via your butthole. It's just like
My ghost wouldn't know what the hell happened, I'll be honest.
Ghosts?
Yeah, you know, like when I'm dead after this.
Be like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, right? Like, what you tell me? The planet just derped out and now I'm dead?
And I was like pelted by wind to death? Like all my skin was blown off?
The planet glitched. Really, that's what killed me? Okay.
But let's talk about historical evidence for floods and like giant floods and cataclysms, okay? Well, first off, we have the Younger Dryas. And you may be saying, hey, Lillian, what the fuck is that? Well, let me
Is
tell
there
you.
an older Dryas?
The Younger Dryas is about 12,000 years ago, give or take, and the ice caps suddenly melted a lot.
Okay.
And this caused giant mile-high tsunamis.
Similar vibes to now, huh?
Yeah, and like to the point where and there was like freezing periods and like warm periods. Woolly mammoths literally flash froze. Like just frozen solid in a matter of moments.
Sucks to be them.
It does suck to suck, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It caused a climate episode, extinction of some prehistoric word, megafauna, demise of the Clovis, archaeological culture, and a range of other effects. And if you ever are into Ancient Aliens or that one documentary on Netflix about like ancient civilizations with that one kooky guy.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, they talk about the Younger Dryas a lot. And the thing is, that really did happen. That's not a conspiracy or anything.
Right, Younger Dryas is not debatable.
It super isn't.
Right.
And again, it was nearly 12,000 years ago. It's well documented and accepted as a theory today. We're not exactly sure why it happened. It could have been climate change, could have been poles shifting, it could have been a meteor. We just don't know. And yeah, it's not necessarily that it was any of those things. It could be all of them. But a big flood and huge catastrophic climate change did happen. But it wasn't a well-known or well-talked-about theory at all back when Thomas wrote his book. But he said that we had another flood about 6,500 years ago after the Younger Dryas event. There were myths from China about this hypothesized flood, and now there appears to be archaeological evidence that this actually happened when Thomas said it did. He couldn't have known that at the time because these are really recent discoveries. He detailed many other floods, and it's not that hot of a take. There are examples of global floods that have happened throughout all of Earth's history. The hot take is that advanced civilizations were destroyed by these floods, and it's why we have these stories, these myths. They are warnings that not only they did happen, but they're going to happen again.
Well, be honest, like if you live in the coastal area, it's just going to flood sometime.
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
It's beyond flood sometime to wiping out entire civilizations.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're in the coastal areas or not. Like it happened in the middle of the Sahara, but we'll get to that in a second. And this one's really cool.
Dang.
Yeah. Thomas postulates that there's like the very first human civilization that we weren't just hunter-gathering was Mesopotamia. His postulation is that no, we had way more civilizations before that, and that was just the most recent reboot.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. Like, you're just not gonna really find stuff from a billion years ago. You're just gonna find stuff from recently.
If there was a cataclysm that bad, it'd blow all evidence to a million bits.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dust.
Yeah.
I just don't see how anybody could survive it. But anyway, is there any evidence of any of this nonsense? It depends on who you ask. Conventional archaeology is like, bitch, no, shut up. A good example of kind of a controversial take and how archaeologists argue amongst each other is the Sphinx in Egypt. It was supposed to have been constructed about 4,000 years ago. If you were to look at the base of the Sphinx, it shows erosion by fast-moving high water. Some people believe that the Sphinx was built 10,000 years ago and not 4, and that would match up with the flood stories in Mesopotamia, and there is some hard evidence that this is possible. Remember, too, carbon dating is not accurate as it's portrayed to be.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's in your notes, but like, isn't like the Sphinx has been redone? Like,
yes,
it used to be like a titty lion with like
yeah, it had tatas,
and it was like a lion head, I think.
Yeah, like Sekhmet as the goddess I think it was supposed to have portrayed.
Right.
You want to hear a cool fact about Sekhmet?
Sure. I can't say no. Wait, no, I do. Fine, what is it?
I want a divorce.
No. What is the Sekhmet?
Sekhmet is maybe the origin of vampire legends.
Whoa.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
She was a blood goddess.
I think that's in Vampire Masquerade.
Of course it is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's where they got it.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah, so... who knows? But anyway, the Sphinx was supposed to be titty lady, and then they knocked the titties off for whatever reason. And
they ruined it.
The Sphinx is a trans man who got top surgery.
That's going to make so many people mad.
Oh, I have a fresh hot butthole they can lick. Who cares? It's a fucking statue.
Yeah. It's also a furry statue on top of that.
Snowflakes get wrecked.
Right.
Yeah, confirmed. The Sphinx is trans.
Trans furry, yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Merris.
There's going to be so many mad people.
Hate mail. I get it all. Why do I get all the hate mail? So Thomas points to the myth of Atlantis too. Plato is who made the mythological civilization famous, but we've not found any evidence of it, or have we? There's a place in Africa in the Sahara called the Eye of the Sahara.
I was wondering if you were going to bring that up, because that place is cool.
That place is fucking
You gotta look at
rad.
pictures of it.
Don't worry, you're going to say, hey, Lillian, this doesn't make good radio. You saying it's cool and I can't see it. Well, go to our Patreon. All of our photos attached to our cases are public because we didn't take the fucking pictures. So that's weird to put behind a paywall.
The Eye of Sahara is literally cool looking.
It is fucking rad, yes. And you can go look at it, and I'll describe it in a minute anyway. But yeah, you can go check it out on our Patreon. It's a geographical anomaly showing these grooves and concentric circles. If there had been a pole shift, like Thomas asserts, it really does look like it could have been a city made of concentric circles that was there at one point. And like I said, I'll have pictures. Now, even Atlantis enthusiasts can't agree as if the Eye of Sahara is man-made or a natural phenomenon. Near the Eye of the Sahara, the land ripples. It looks like rolling hills from far away, but up close, it really looks like the land just buckled all crazy.
That's insane. A big sinkhole?
They believe... And not ancient astronaut theorists who will literally believe it.
They say yes to everything.
They're the biggest sluts on Earth.
You should ask out an ancient astronaut theorist because they will say yes.
Yeah. You'd be like, can I borrow $10,000? Well, I'm an ancient astronaut theorists say yes.
Yep.
No, but like geologists believe that tsunamis caused the ripples in the land. And these would have been huge, over 1,000 feet deep. Atlantis isn't the only lost civilization. There was, supposedly, an entire continent that was destroyed in the cataclysmic floods, and this is the lost continent of Mu. M-U, not M-O-O.
I love this cow continent.
Wouldn't it be cool if it was just a cow civilization, and that's why the aliens are abducting the cows?
It's like there's an ancient, continent named Mu, and there's an ancient continent named Meow.
And there's one called Bark.
Yes.
Both ancient India and the ancient Mayans have stories about the large continent that was in the Pacific Ocean. It would have been kind of between the Americas and Asia and Australia. And I'll have pictures of this too because I'm bad at geography and thus I'm bad at explaining where anything is. And I have no idea where the Dakotas are and only a vague understanding of Iowa and Ohio. Frankly, I don't really know where I am.
I don't believe in Alaska.
Which is the one I don't believe in? New Zealand, even though we have fans
That's
there.
not on any map. No, it's just not.
No. What's a kiwi, huh?
Yeah.
It's a cute little bird.
It's also a fruit. Make up your mind.
So there's supposed to be ruins off the coast of Japan under the water. Archaeologists maintain its natural rock formations. And I don't know, lots of 90-degree angles seems not natural to me. And there are ruins near Indonesia with lots of structures that definitely look man-made. And those are in Indonesia. Are these from the lost civilization of Mu that would have been destroyed by a massive flood or cataclysm 11,500 years ago? That's the same period as the Younger Dryas. Maybe. Then you have the Easter Island with the giant heads.
I love that island.
I do too. It's really weird. But it's not just heads. They're 30 feet tall and have bodies that are under the ground. This was supposed to be a part of Mu as well. Mud from a giant tsunami buried the statues. Otherwise, the people who made them buried them, which seems weird.
Hard. That'd be hard.
Dig it up. Okay. I don't know if y'all have ever dug a hole.
I have dug a hole.
You've dug hole.
I've dug hole.
Thog dug hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to do. And especially, like, I know it's possible, but there's so many of these statues. It just seems weird that they'd go to all the trouble of carving them and then be like, nah, bury them neck deep.
Could, like, an earthquake, bury them like a mudslide?
No, not quite like that. Now, this flood they're talking about would have been a mud flood.
A mud flood.
From the tsunamis.
Yeah. So it is a mudslide, yeah.
Yeah, but from the ocean.
Yeah.
Not from the land.
Okay.
Yeah. Easter Island is in the literal middle of the ocean. How did people even get there? At one point, it was estimated that 12,000 people lived there. But how? The heads on Easter Island are very, very old. It's said that the Polynesians sailed there and built these monuments, and yes, I guess that's possible. But is it probable? The statue is way over 80 tons. Why would they sail to this tiny island in the middle of the ocean to build some statues? Doesn't make a lot of sense.
They didn't have PlayStation, that's why.
Oh my God. It makes more sense that instead of taking their boats out of the middle of nowhere and hoping they'd find an island they didn't know for sure existed, that they simply walked there because it was part of a huge continent. In addition, the Polynesian language shares similarities to Greek as well as their myths and legends. Makes a lot more sense if they were closer together because there used to be a giant landmass there. So when is this pole shift coming? If it runs in cycles, when can we expect the Earth to utterly wreck our shit Blender style?
You're gonna say tomorrow, aren't you? You're gonna be like,
we're overdue. Dr. Thomas updated his theory in 1993 to say the shift would start to occur in the year 2000, and even noted that Nostradamus and Edward Casey, both supposedly psychic doomsayers, backed this up. And I don't know that I'd use either of those guys to back up my research, but here we are. Now, that was 23 years ago, and we're still here, so no worries, right? Maybe. Why did the CIA classify it? We don't know. However, Thomas was researching a bunch of crazy UFO shit, and he was working on missile guidance system stuff. So it is possible the CIA just classified whatever he was writing at the time because he worked for McDonnell Douglas as a matter of precaution and national security, given that he worked on missiles. Yeah.
Okay.
Thomas was a weird dude.
So some crazy guy who worked on missiles.
Yeah, he was a kook.
Yeah.
So is any of this possible? No. I mean, I hate to
episode over.
Yeah, we're done. But it's fun to think about being blendered to death because who the fuck wants to work in this capitalist nightmare hellscape?
Right.
Yeah. However, despite Thomas being a weirdo, global floods were a thing that happened. The Younger Dryas, whether it was melting ice caps that caused 1,000-foot tsunamis or a meteor, that shit really happened. Global floods happen, and sea levels are rising because of melting ice caps again. And this can cause something known as negative feedback loops.
Yeah, I know about them.
Depressing. And I don't encourage you to Google it, and I don't want to get into it.
Don't do it.
But basically, when the polar ice caps melt, it releases all this bullshit.
Methane and all that bullshit.
Which heats up our environment even more.
It's on a escalating thingy, and it's bad.
It's all bad, and we're all probably going to die because of climate change.
Right.
That is a less fun end of the world because it's slow and it's Mad Maxy and Starvey and Bernie.
Yes.
Whereas it's not just like getting flung off the planet or blendered to death.
I would prefer that, yeah.
Yeah, I would really prefer to be murdered.
Maybe it felt like it happened when I was outside so I could get literally flung into the space.
Oh, I don't want to be flung into space.
Like through the atmosphere, very cool.
Oh, you'd burn up or something.
I would die. I would asphyxiate us when I get high up in the atmosphere, but
I don't think you'd be alive. I think it'd liquefy your internal organs, the force of it.
Very cool, very cool.
You want to be liquefied.
Yeah.
Slurp me through a straw.
Slurp me up, God.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It was very aggressive.
It was.
So Thomas maintained seismic activity can shift the Earth's axis. And you know what, y'all? It totally fucking can. Remember the earthquakes in Chile and Japan? They did that.
Right, I do remember that.
But we're still here, and we did not get cosmically blendered, sadly. The poles are shifting as we speak. The Earth's magnetic field is weakening. And let me tell you, That's something to be way more concerned about than this weirdo's theory. Because when the magnetic fields around the Earth weaken, more radiation from the sun gets to us, causes higher rates of cancer. In addition, a solar flare could come in and cause what's known as a Carrington event. And this happened in the 1800s. It fried all the the telegraph wires. But back then, we weren't reliant on technology like we are today.
Fry me, sun daddy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That needs to be a shirt.
Yeah.
Fry me, sun daddy.
Well,
I like that
it's
one.
gonna.
Yeah, it's a shirt now.
Yeah.
I'll make it. And it'll go in the shop. But if we got hit with a Carrington event today, it would knock out our internet, our power grid. We'd be fucked and it would be chaos.
Yes.
So let's hope that doesn't happen because we won't die. But we'll wish we were dead.
What if we just put a Faraday cage around the Earth?
There's a lot of reasons that's not going to work. No.
Yeah.
And put a Faraday cage on my head.
Maybe if we all become mole people.
We could become more
They did
people.
find like underground cities in Turkey or whatever.
Yeah, I forget the name.
Cool underground city in Turkey.
Not Yehu.
I don't know. I can't speak Turkish.
When there's Göbekli Tepe.
I don't know if that was underground.
It wasn't, but it's old. It's like
Old
from
as
the Younger
balls.
Dryas period.
12,000? Someone can Google it.
12 to 13.
I don't have it in front of
I'm
me.
not Googling shit right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it. So is the world going to end? I mean, eventually, who cares?
Okay, so what about this guy's book? We can.
I will link it. I will link the whole thing from the CIA's website.
I wonder if they classified this dumbass book. What other things did they classify?
Oh my God!
Everything.
Probably like J. Edgar Hoover's panty collection.
I bet he does have one.
No, he was a crossdresser.
Yeah, but he's got a collection, and someone has it.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
It's messed up.
Why was he ever in charge of anything?
I don't know. I look back and you're like, well, Trump, this is all crazy. But then you look back in history and all of our politicians were equally as nuts as him.
Nixon.
Yeah, right?
I'm going to be I can't do it a horny history because I don't think Nixon was horny at all. I think it was just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to do a horrible history, probably next Merris Monday on Nixon. And you guys are probably like rolling your eyes and saying, that's boring. Listen, Richard Milhouse Nixon, that whole thing, him as a person, his whole life story is so wild, it beggars belief. You guys will enjoy it, I promise you.
And like some of the players are still playing, like Roger Stone.
Go away, Roger Stone.
Right.
I've had enough of his old ass. JFK. If you haven't listened to our episode on JFK and his cocaine and cum-laden White House,
Oh
you
my
should.
goodness.
Well, it's called Horny History for a reason. He had like a sex addiction.
He was the coon man.
He was the coon man. And he was just fucking people left and right. And I'm not too convinced that didn't in part get him killed.
I bet, yeah.
I would like to do another JFK episode on the theories of who killed JFK. Because it sure wasn't that dude.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
From the fucking book building.
I'm real sure.
Yeah.
I'm real sure.
Right.
Oh man. Yeah, we'll do that one of these days. But for now, it's business time.
Business time.
Why'd you say it all crazy?
Because I could do crazy voices.
Say it again.
It's business time.
Whoa, you sound like a little goblin man.
Yeah, it's a goblin voice. Yeah.
Yeah, well, business is goblin-y.
Yeah.
Look, y'all, we don't want to do business time. We would rather sit in a meadow and pick flowers and look at cool rocks. But unfortunately, capitalism, thus we must. And in order to, make the podcast go, we have to earn the doll hairs.
Yeah.
So here's my business time for today. First, I want to thank everybody who participated in getting us to our 100 patrons. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
We're still running our contest to get a free month of our Patreon subscription. What you got to do to enter is go to our Discord and post a picture of like your pet or your food. Just make it PG-13. I don't want to see anyone's ass, for example, or like anything gross. Use your judgment. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm going to draw names out of a hat, and at the end of the month, I will announce a winner, and I will send you $5. And if you spend that $5 on ice cream, I can't stop you.
You should buy me ice cream.
Boy, I would love some ice cream. But it's that time of the month where we're paying bills, so it's like bean time.
Beans, yeah.
I would like to not eat beans, so get a tarot reading from me. I have been reading tarot cards for over 30 years. Well, just almost 30 years. God, I forget how old I am sometimes. And I really enjoy doing it. I'd like to think I'm pretty accurate. You can go check out the reviews on my Facebook page where I do my readings. And I'm going to be running some specials on those. You can contact me via email or over Facebook Messenger from my readings page, and we can discuss. I do relationship readings, general readings, one-card pulls, you name it. I do it. And if you want to, like a star chart to go like along with this, it makes a beautiful gift for someone, like a reading and a star chart. Maris, explain what an illustrated star chart is.
Well, what I do is first of all, I do watercolor paintings, and I really like illustrating maps and things like that, and kind of like that old-timey, like medieval style. And what I do is, if you give me a date, I can look up on a program I have what the positions of the stars looked like at that particular date, and then I illustrate it in a unique handmade map.
What kind of date, Maris?
You can do any date. You can do your birthday. You can do your wedding day. You can do, like, I don't know, Pearl Harbor Day. It literally doesn't matter. I can illustrate it.
That's right. It can be the death of a loved one, the day you adopted your child. We can do any special date to you.
The first day that you watched or listened to an episode of our podcast, I can illustrate that.
Yes, memorialize it for it. It changed your life, and you know it. Yeah. But yeah, I'm doing a special on a star chart for Maris and a reading from me. So that's very cool indeed. Now, moving right along. Join our Patreon. Listen, here's what I'm going to be covering on the episodes for next week. I do not know what Willow's covering this week for Patreon, but next week I'm covering some of the victims of serial killer Israel Keys. It's kind of an ongoing series that I'm doing. He's one of the worst serial killers of all space and time. But after that, I am covering the Scott Peterson case, the guy who killed his wife Lacey, his pregnant wife. There is a big movement and push right now to try and exonerate Scott Peterson and say that he's not guilty.
Ew.
Oh, you indeed.
Ew.
But I don't want to spoil it for you.
Okay.
I'm going to give his family and his lawyers, what they're saying versus the facts.
Okay.
Excuse me. I just swallowed a bug.
Oh, no.
Jesus, like a little gnat.
Oh, that's terrible.
I've ruined my whole day.
Yeah. Anyway, Scott Peterson.
Yeah, so that's what you can look forward to the rest of the month on Patreon. I'm actually personally really excited about it. I've been doing research for the Scott Peterson one now for a month and a half, and so I'm really excited to present this to y'all. This is going to be a pretty long episode. It may even be a two-parter. I don't like doing two-parters, but you're going to want to listen to this. It's really impactful. And it's kind of like a trend right now, especially in social media and the media in general, is to take these people who committed a grisly, heinous crime and then do TV specials on why everyone thinks they're innocent now. Mm-hmm. And if you go onto Reddit, you see people frothing at the mouth to defend Scott Peterson.
Fucking why?
And it makes me want to just puke.
Yeah.
Right? And the next one that Casey Anthony came out with a docuseries about why she didn't kill her baby, and we all know she did. There just wasn't enough.
O.J. Simpson, if I did it.
Oh my God, O.J., why? Don't write that book. It's too late. Could we go back in time and tell him just fucking don't do that, man?
Yeah.
No, we can't. Anyway, and we get into a lot of I got into a lot of court transcripts and evidence and looking at pictures. Oh my goodness, I've been through it. But I want to share this with y'all so much. So join the Patreon. The $5 tier will get you all these bonus episodes. And I'm excited for the rest of this month. And next month, I have a lot of really cool things planned. But other than that, if all you can do to support this podcast is listen, thank you. I appreciate you. And if you want to kind of give back, our coffee account, you can send us some dollary dues, or you can just tell a friend, or, leave a nice review. If you have a criticism, I'd prefer you not leave a mean review and just tell me to go fuck myself to my face. We're an independent podcast, and mean reviews hurt. They suck.
Yeah.
And I would prefer to get I like constructive criticism. We always want to improve. But anyway, that's what I got. I'm done with business now.
Cool.
Cool.
Cool beans.
Everything here's been really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo.
Oh boy.
I don't want to talk about it because not because it's so terrible or anything. It's just been a relentless gauntlet of tiny bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever walked through like a field and you encounter like a swarm of gnats?
I've walked the Valley of Death.
Yeah, and then they get in your eyes, they buzz in your ear, fly up your
Right.
nose. That's what it's like. It's a lot of little gnats flying into my face.
Yeah.
And I need a vacation.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get one. No. Anyway, hey, I'm going to make it weird. I love you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Merris.
I'm seeing other people, so.
Whoa!
Yeah. I can't tell them that. I can't tell them I love them. That's just. I don't want our.
Are you commitment shy?
I don't want to lead our audience on. You know.
Who are you seeing? Like,
You.
oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're being silly.
Yeah.
You're being very cute, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, happy Father's Day. If your dad was mean, fuck him. May he rot in hell.
Yeah. My dad's dead, so don't worry about him.
Yeah, he's dead in hell where he belongs. Yeah. Anyway, a good night.
Bye.
Us on your social media platform of choice. Linktree/cruelty has all of the links. Check out our Patreon for exclusive episodes, merch, ad-free episodes, live ghost hunts, and much more. Please be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded weekly. Thank you so much. See you next time. Music and production by Lee.